Hey, this is Mark Watson, MTC Media here at Cap One with the post game. Providence over Georgetown, 71-52. Providence was led by Jared Bynum, who had a career high 32 points, a career high of 5 steals, a career high 7 3-pointers made. He was 7 for 8 from the 3-point line, 11 for 15 from the field. Patrick Ewing, after the game, said that they kept losing Bynum around the staggers and the triples that Providence was running, and that was obvious. It was communication breakdowns by the Hoyers that allowed Bynum to get such great looks at this. This game started very well for Georgetown. They played such a good first half, was up at halftime, and things just absolutely positively fell apart. Georgetown was up 30-27 at halftime. They were outscored 44-22 in the second half. Some of the same things that we've talked about all season. Georgetown turned the ball over 19 times, led to Providence 18 points. The free throw shooting in the second half, Providence, after only getting to the line twice the whole first half, got to the line 14 times in the second half. They shot 7 for 12 from the three-point line in the second half. It was just the last 20 minutes took the Hoyers out. For Georgetown, Aminu Muhammad had 18 points. He played well in spurts. He was able, because Providence isn't very long, when he got inside, he was able to finish. The one thing that Muhammad's going to have to do, if there's any talk about playing on the next level, heck, their improvement to making a jump over this season is he has to improve his perimeter jump shot, because if he had a perimeter jump shot, along with being able to get to the front of the rim and finish in contest, he would impact this game so much more for the Hoyers. Also, Donald Carey finished with 11, Colin Holloway with 9. I thought the change in the second half actually came with Donald Carey, who shot 1 for 8. It seemed in the second half he came out hunting shots, whereas in the first half Georgetown was being very meticulous. They were throwing the ball inside and getting the ball inside with Muhammad and with Holloway, and when Mutombo was in, also with Mutombo, and then that just kind of faded. It seemed like at the beginning of the half, Donald Carey looked for a shot more, and he shot 1 for 8, and it seems like he shot them out the rhythm. Also, when you have Mutombo in the game for long stretches, because Big Tim was in foul trouble, a lot of lanes closed up, and they closed up because obviously at this point in his career, Mutombo really can only play in the center of the paint, and at times it clogs up driving lanes. So that's just something over time that as Mutombo gets more comfortable, as he plays more, as his footwork gets better, as his quickness gets better, you can start moving around the floor, getting into mismatches, keeping driving lanes open. But as of right now, it's hard when he's in there to have the driving lanes open. But he's also probably their most dependable offensive big man on the roster. So you got to take some, you got to give some. The other question I have is with Caden Rice. He played 20 minutes tonight, 2 for 9 from the field, 1 for 7 from the three-point line. He just doesn't seem to have been the same since being moved out of the starting lineup to the bench. For Holloway, I don't know if he's not getting the looks. Is he not in rhythm when he comes in? Is he not getting the consecutive minutes? But whatever it is taking a toll of how impactful he can be when he's on the floor. Today, he just never looked like he got into a rhythm, and he never looked comfortable. This is Georgetown's 10th straight loss. They are still winless in the Big East, and it has to be extremely, extremely frustrating for everyone involved that you're seeing these stretches where Georgetown plays so well, and why can't they put those stretches together for 40 minutes? And if they had the answer, certainly they would do it. And Ewing was asked, what does he say to the kids at this point? And he tried to make a joke out of it. And he said, well, what do the kids say to me at this point? But I don't know what he can say that hasn't already been said. And this is where it's tough being a coach in this situation, is that you've probably said all you can say, and you don't want to run the risk of saying something so much that it's just absolutely positively gets tuned out. And I don't know if Georgetown's at the pace at that point anyway. Some of the other struggles came with Georgetown's point guard position. Dante Harris was 0 for 6 from the field. Again, it seemed a lot of things he did today were forced. Tyler Beard only played 3.5 minutes. In those 3.5 minutes, he had 2 turnovers. And he's not taking care of the ball. He's over dribbling at times. Donald Perry's over dribbling at times. Dante Harris is over dribbling. Just guys trying to do too much when you're trying to get out of this funk. And sometimes the answer as a team, as a coach, is not to do more. It's actually to simplify and do less. Move the ball. Providence moved the ball today, and it's the reason why they eventually won. Move the ball. Depend on your teammates. Trust your teammates. These things that you think that are hokey and that are very middle school to high schoolish are things that right now Georgetown needs to jump in and do, which is going to have to be trust and share. They need to trust the ball. They need to share it. If I'm Coach Ewan, which I'm not, obviously I'm playing Mutombo as many minutes as possible. I'm playing Billingsley more. I don't know what Jalen Billingsley is not doing in practice, but 5 minutes and 17 seconds for a guy who has the potential to be as good as he has in a season where you're already 0-10 in the conference, it just doesn't make any sense why he's now on the floor more. No sense whatsoever. So, again, you don't want to say, well, if you put him on the floor, you're packing in the season. You're trying to find what can work. He's one of your better players. It's not packing in the season. You're 0-10 in the conference. So, I mean, I think that Ewan needs to trust those guys more and play those guys more because you don't want them in the transfer portal. You don't want to start over again with a new recruiting class like they've done time and time and time again, and they're always starting from zero. So you got to get these guys in there. You got to give them a chance. You got to allow them to make mistakes. You got to give them room to fail. If you if you do that middle of the season when things were starting to go rocky, then maybe by now they're contributing and playing winning basketball as opposed to tightening it up. Sometimes you got to loosen up a little bit, especially when you have guys of the talent and the skill level of those guys. So again, final score today, Providence 71, Georgetown 52. Here from Cap 1, we will see you at our next location. Follow us on Twitter. You see the Twitter handle there, MTC with Moo. Follow us on Twitter to get the latest of who we're covering, what we're covering, our pregame and postgame. You guys have a good Sunday afternoon.